The Israeli-Palestine situation, it breaks my heart. It really does. And I have to say something about it because we need to talk about it and we need to take action. We need to stop the carnage. I'm going to say 3 things. First, I know some people don't watch the news. They think it's bad for their mental health. And I understand that. It can be that way. But we need to see the suffering of the people in Gaza, in Ukraine, in Sudan. We need to witness this because it is the least that we can do, is to acknowledge somebody else's suffering and to allow it to break our hearts wide open. Because if we don't, if we turn away to protect ourselves from the pain we would feel, we're not helping. Because if we feel that pain and we allow it to open our hearts, that is the motivation for action. That is the beginning of action. So don't turn away. Look, and yes, it hurts. It really hurts, especially when you are someone who feels other people's pain really deeply, are super sensitive people. And maybe you don't know how to handle that hurt. But for now, just feel it. At the end of this video, I will tell you how I deal with the pain of watching such suffering. But I will not turn away, because the least I can do is not turn away, is to be witness to what's going on, to not forget. The second thing is that the solution to all wars is not hatred and retribution. It is not revenge. It is not, you did this to me, I have to do this to you, because that is a vicious cycle and it never, ever ends. If you operate from that mentality, you are simply passing the problem down to your children. The solution will only ever come from allowing your hearts to open and seeing that the people that you think are other are the same as you. They are no different. Their suffering is your suffering. Recognizing that you both suffer. On both sides of a conflict, people suffer. If there was not suffering, there would not be conflict. People behave violently out of fear, out of frustration, out of anger. So as long as those are the motivations for your behavior, for whatever activism you undertake, you are perpetuating the cycle. If you start abusing Jews because of what their government is doing, you are not helping. Solutions to wars will only come through love and compassion, through opening our hearts, through recognizing the intergenerational trauma in Israel and Palestine that drives this whole situation. And the solution will only, the long-term solution will only come from righting the imbalances that are there politically, geographically. But the important thing is that whatever you do, allow it to come from this open-hearted space. Don't fall into sides. Sides create conflict. You cannot have war unless there are two sides. So if you take a side, you simply continue the conflict. You have to recognize that they are both the same. They are one. They are both human. We are all human. We all suffer in the same way. And solutions to our problems will only come through an open heart. The third thing I want to say is, once our heart's open, once we feel the pain, what do we do with it? It hurts. My God, it hurts. It's all so very, very wrong. Obviously, the first thing is to stop the suffering. We must stop the wars. We must provide aid. And we must pray. Because not all of us can physically provide the aid that's needed. And it's easy for us to feel incredibly helpless and use that as a reason not to engage. We can use it as a reason not to acknowledge the situation, not to pay it any attention because it hurts so much. We don't know what to do with the hurt. It makes us depressed. So what do we do with that? Here's what I do. I, every morning, send angels into the world. And every night, actually. And anytime I think of the situation, when I see it on the TV, and I do watch it, I watch it because those people deserve for me to watch. I will not do them the disservice of turning away. So what do? I have a legion of angels in my imagination. And your imagination is enormously powerful. And I send out those angels. I send them into these war zones to do what I cannot do sitting here on the other side of the world with no money to do anything with apart from my own survival. So it's a kind of prayer. I mean, if you're a Christian, if you have a God, then you can pray to that God, right? But lots of us aren't. We don't have gods. We don't want to pray to a God for whatever reason. But you don't need to pray to anyone. All you need to do is put the intention out there, the intention to help. And the way I do it is just to create a whole lot of imaginative beings that I send out. It's a kind of prayer, right? And I've been creating AI angels, masses of them, all different kinds of them. It seems to be that's all I want to do at the moment. And this is what I do with them. So in the morning, I will post angels on Instagram, and with it, most days, I write a little prayer. That is essentially me sending angels out. And the thing is, you're sending out those angels with your love and compassion. And so you're not left feeling bereft. You're not left feeling helpless, because those angels fill you with love and light, or whatever beautiful thing you imagine that you can send out to help. And so for me, it's angels, and they're full of love and light. And so they fill me with love and light. So not only am I praying, am I sending this visualization out in the strongest possible terms to help on the level of reality that, okay, it's not physical, but non-physical does affect the physical, just in the way that your thought precedes your action. If we send our imaginary beings out to do the work that needs to be done, we are paving the way for the action to follow. So it really is something you can do. At least that's how I see it. And it's not like going to deplete you, because it comes from the well of love and compassion that is inside of you. And so those angels are in you. They come from you. They fill you with your light. So then I go about my day with the light, the love and compassion, the light of the universe filling me. And that chases away what could otherwise turn into depression. So that's just what I do.